Cyber Threat Brief for February 20, 2026. Here is today's Security Intelligence Summary. Next section, Critical Alerts. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, 3-day deadline. Dell RecoverPoint Hard-Coded Credential Flaw, CVE, 2026-22769, CISA added CVE, 2026-22769 to the KEV Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog on February 19, with a federal remediation deadline of February 21, tomorrow. The flaw is a maximum severity hard-coded credential vulnerability in Dell RecoverPoint for virtual machines, a VMware backup and recovery solution. Mandiant and Google's Threat Intelligence Group confirmed that UNC 6201, a suspected China Nexus threat cluster with hallmarks overlapping Silk Typhoon, also tracked as UNC 5221, has exploited this flaw since at least mid-2024 to move laterally, maintain persistence, and deploy malware including Slaystyle, Brickstorm, and a newly identified backdoor called Grimbolt. Attackers also created ghost NICs on virtual machines to pivot across compromised environments without triggering network alerts. EPS, the exploit prediction scoring system, sits at the 96th percentile. Fewer than a dozen confirmed victims are known, though actual count is likely higher given the group's tradecraft. Silk Typhoon previously breached U.S. Treasury, OFAC, and CFIUS. Action: patch Dell RecoverPoint for virtual machines immediately per Dell's advisory. Federal agencies must remediate by end of day February 21. Hunt for Brickstorm/Grimbolt indicators in EDR telemetry. Look for unauthorized VNIC creation on VMware infrastructure. If RecoverPoint is internet accessible, treat environment as potentially compromised. Sources: Bleeping Computer the Register. Beyond Trust CVE, 2026-1731 now confirmed in ransomware campaigns, CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 9.9 CVE. 2026-1731 is a pre-authentication OS command injection vulnerability in Beyond Trust remote support, 25.3.1 and earlier, and privileged remote access, 24.3.4 and earlier. Exploitable via a malformed WebSocket connection targeting the ThinSCC wrapper component. CISA KEV entry has been updated to confirm ransomware campaign use. The original federal remediation deadline was February 16. Unit 42 identified over 16,400 exposed vulnerable instances and documented full attack chains including web shell deployment, vShell and Spark RAT installation, lateral movement, and complete PostgreSQL database exfiltration targeting financial services, legal, healthcare, and technology sectors across the US, France, Germany, Australia, and Canada. EPS is at the 98th percentile. The same Beyond Trust codebase was previously exploited via CVE 2024-12356 by Silk Typhoon, reflecting a pattern of recurring input validation failures in distinct execution pathways within the product. Action: patch immediately. Remote support: upgrade to version 25.3.2 or later. Privileged remote access: upgrade to version 25.1.1 or later. SAS instances were auto-patched February 2, verify via the appliance interface. Self-hosted instances require manual update. Hunt for web shells across appliance directories, vShell/Spark RAT binaries, unauthorized admin account creation, and outbound PostgreSQL dump transfers. Sources: Bleeping Computer the Hacker News Unit 42. Roundcube Webmail. 2 actively exploited flaws added to CISA KEV CISA added CVE 2025-49113, deserialization of untrusted data, EPS 100th percentile, and CVE 2025-68461, cross-site scripting to the KEV catalog, both with a remediation deadline of March 13, 2026. Roundcube has been a persistent target for nation-state actors, including APT28. Deserialization flaws in webmail platforms are a reliable path to server-side code execution and credential harvesting. Action: update Roundcube to the latest patched release immediately. The 100th percentile EPS on CVE 2025-49113 indicates this is being actively scanned and exploited at scale. Treat the March 13 deadline as a ceiling, not a target. Source: CISA. Next section, Vulnerability Disclosures. Windows Admin Center Privilege Escalation, Potential Domain Compromise, CVE 2026-26119, CVSS 8.8, Microsoft patched an improper authentication vulnerability in Windows Admin Center version 2511, released December 2025. CVE 2026-26119 allows an authenticated network attacker to escalate privileges to the level of the user running the application. Semperis researcher Andrea Perini, who discovered the flaw, stated it can enable full domain compromise from a standard user account under certain conditions. Microsoft tagged it exploitation more likely. No in-the-wild exploitation is confirmed yet, but technical details are expected to become public soon. Action: update Windows Admin Center to version 2511 or later. Restrict WAC to named administrator accounts with M.F.A. multi-factor authentication enforced. Limit WAC network exposure to management VLAN. Monitor for anomalous privilege escalation events originating from WAC sessions. Source: The Hacker News. Ivanti exploitation surges. 0 days traced to July 2025, researchers have identified a surge in exploitation of Ivanti products, with 0-day attacks now traced back to July 2025, months before public disclosure. Observed activity includes web shell deployment, reconnaissance tooling, and malware downloads. The pattern continues multi-year targeting of Ivanti appliances by nation-state actors. Action: apply all current Ivanti patches. Audit systems for signs of compromise. Unexpected web shells, modified configuration files, unauthorized outbound connections. Treat any unpatched Ivanti appliance as potentially compromised if internet accessible. Source: Security Week. Pusser USRW 610 Industrial Router. 4 vulns, EAL. No patch coming. CISA issued an advisory for the Jinan USR IoT USRW 610 router covering 4 vulnerabilities. CVE 2026-25715. Blank password disables all authentication across web interface and telnet. HTTP basic auth transmitted in cleartext. Credentials passively interceptable. Passwords rendered in plaintext in the UI. And Wi-Fi deauthentication via forged management frames, no MFP. The vendor confirmed the device is end-of-life with no patches planned. The device is deployed worldwide in critical manufacturing environments, and 3 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Action: inventory USRW 610 devices on your network. Isolate from internet and business networks immediately, replace with supported hardware. No credential-based control on this device can be trusted. Source: CISA. N-Ocean Smart Server EOT. Remote code execution via crafted messages. CVE 2026-20761, CVE 2026-20761 allows unauthenticated remote attackers to execute arbitrary OS commands via crafted LON IP 852 messages on Smart Server EOT devices running version 4.60.009 or earlier. CVE 2026-22885 is a companion out-of-bounds read in the same pathway causing memory disclosure. A patched version is available. Action: update Smart Server to version 4.60.023, Smart Server 4. 6. Update 2 or later. Isolate all smart server devices behind firewalls. Restrict LON IP 852 traffic to known management systems. Source: CISA. Next section, ransomware and extortion. Ransomware. All Mississippi clinics closed. Epic EMR offline. The University of Mississippi Medical Center confirmed a ransomware attack on February 20 that shut down all outpatient clinics statewide, canceled ambulatory surgeries and imaging appointments, and took Epic electronic medical records offline. Operates 7 hospitals, 35 clinics, and over 200 telehealth sites, and is Mississippi's only level I trauma center and only children's hospital. Hospital officials confirmed active communications with the ransomware operators. The FBI and CISA are assisting with investigation. No group has claimed the attack. Data theft has not been confirmed, but is likely given the negotiation posture. Inpatient care is continuing via paper downtime procedures. Source: Bleeping Computer. Advantest ransomware attack. $120B semiconductor test equipment maker, Japanese semiconductor test equipment maker, Advantest, 7,600 employees, $5B annual revenue, $120B market cap. Disclosed a ransomware attack detected February 15 affecting portions of its corporate network. Affected systems have been isolated, third-party incident responders are engaged, and investigation into potential customer or employee data exposure is ongoing. No group has claimed the attack. Advantest joins a string of recent high-profile Japanese corporate incidents including Washington Hotel, Nissan, Muji, and NTT. Source: Bleeping Computer. Lockbit 5. Zero cross-platform build explicitly targets Proxmox analysis of Lockbit 5. Zero reveals Windows builds with layered defense evasion. DLL. Dynamic link library, unhooking, process hollowing, ETW function patching, and log clearing. The variant includes a dedicated Proxmox build, explicitly targeting the open-source hypervisor that enterprises are adopting as a VMware alternative. Organizations migrating from VMware to Proxmox should account for this in their ransomware resilience planning. Source: The Hacker News. ClickFix plus Matt and Butch's 3. 0 plus Astarian RAT. Domain controllers compromised in Minutes. Huntress documented a February 2026 ClickFix campaign delivering Matt and Butch's 3. 0 that rapidly progressed from initial access to domain controller compromise via PsExec, rogue account creation, and Microsoft Defender exclusion, staging in a single session. The campaign deployed Astarian RAT, a custom implant with 24 capabilities including credential theft, SOC 5 proxy, port scanning, reflective code loading, and shell execution. ClickFix social engineering drove 53% of all malware loader activity in 2025. Action: block PowerShell from user browser processes. Enforce application: allow listing on endpoints. Create high-priority alerts for PsExec usage originating from non-admin accounts, Defender exclusion modifications, and rogue local account creation. Assume any ClickFix victim is moving laterally toward DCs within the hour. Source: The Hacker News. Next section, business and infrastructure threats. Trust Connect. Fully fake RMM, remote monitoring and management, vendor selling a RAT for $300/month proofpoint uncovered an operation that built a complete fake remote management software company. Trust Connect, with an AI-generated business website, extended validation code signing certificate, and a cryptocurrency subscription model at $300/month. The product is a remote access Trojan with full mouse/keyboard control, screen recording, file transfer, and UAC bypass. The EV certificate has been revoked, and the primary command and control, 178.128.69.245, was disrupted February 17, but operators pivoted to new infrastructure within hours and are testing a rebranded variant called Doc Connect, or Shield OSV 1.0. Attribution links this to a redline in Fostealer operator via a Telegram handle identified in Operation Magnus. RMM abuse jumped 277% in 2025 and now represents 24% of all observed incidents per Huntress data. Action: block trustconnectsoftware.com and 2 additional domains. See show notes for the full list. Source: the register. Klein CLI 2.3.0 Supply Chain Attack. OpenClaw installed on 4000 developer systems on February 17. An attacker used a compromised npm publish token to release Klein CLI 2.3.0 with a post-install script silently installing OpenClaw at latest on developer machines. Approximately 4,000 installs occurred during the A-Tower exposure window. The token was compromised via Kleinjection, a prompt injection attack against Klein's automated GitHub issue triage workflow, where excessive Claude permissions allowed arbitrary code execution and npm token exfiltration. OpenClaw itself is not malicious, but the unauthorized installation demonstrates a complete supply chain integrity failure. Version 2.4.0 is the safe release. npm publishing has been migrated to OIDC via GitHub Actions. Action: if Klein's CLI 2.3.0 was installed on any developer machine between 3:26 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. PT on February 17, audit for OpenClaw and remove if not authorized. Update to Klein 2.4.0. Audit any AI coding assistant workflows that automatically process GitHub issues for excessive permissions and code execution capabilities. Source: the Hacker News. Next section: Windows/Active Directory security. Identity posture gaps. What cyber insurers and threat actors both audit with a third of cyber attacks involving compromised employee credentials. Cyber insurers are embedding Active Directory hygiene directly into underwriting models. The specific factors under scrutiny align precisely with known attacker exploitation paths. Password reuse across admin and service accounts, legacy NTLM still active in the environment, dormant accounts with valid credentials, service accounts with non-expiring passwords, and excessive domain admin membership. Insurers view uncontrolled privileged access as a predictor of rapid breach escalation. Attackers use these paths for exactly the same reason. Action: run an AD audit this quarter. Target: accounts with non-expiring passwords, accounts inactive 90+ days, service accounts outside a PAM solution, and principals with DA or global admin rights beyond role requirements. Tools like Bloodhound, Pingcastle, or SpecOps Password Auditor surface these quickly. Disabling legacy NTLM is a high-return hardening step in most SMB, small and medium business environments. Source: the Hacker News. Next section: General Security News. Microsoft Guidance. Self-hosted AI agents require full isolation. Microsoft Security published technical guidance on securing self-hosted AI agent runtimes, using OpenClaw as the reference architecture. Core risk: agent runtimes inherit the full privilege of the host environment, execute third-party code skills, and process untrusted external inputs in a continuous loop. A single malicious input on an agent's feed can result in persistent credentialed execution and memory poisoning across the environment. Microsoft's minimum safe posture: isolated dedicated VM or physical system, non-privileged dedicated credentials, access to non-sensitive data only, continuous monitoring, and a documented rebuild plan. Organizations piloting autonomous AI agents on standard workstations connected to corporate AD are creating a high-value attack surface. Source: Microsoft security blog that concludes today's cyber threat brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.